Okay guys, so we're just going to pick up where we left off and we're just going to keep adding layers. Okay, so I'm going to click back on the top layer again, just a repetition of that same process. Control T to transform it, to alter the shape of it. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, so Control minus to zoom out. And I'm just going to rotate it a little bit more that way. Press return to apply the transformation. Okay, then zoom in, Control plus. And just select a couple of bars again. Okay, and this time I'm going to copy them from that image at the back. So click on that layer, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and again we can see it's pasted a new layer in. I'm just going to move that above this background layer, turn off my top layer, which I've used to select so I can see it, and then add my drop shadow on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So yeah, make sure I'm on this layer, the image layer, add my drop shadow. Okay, great. And then maybe just move that a little to the left, sorry, to the right. Turn on my other layers. See how that's starting to shape up. Again, I can reorder these at any point in time, so I might move that one into the middle here. So I'm starting to build up this increasingly complex layered portrait. Same process again then. So we go back to our top layer. Let's turn that on. I'm going to turn off the others so I can see what I'm doing. Control T. Rotate a little bit that way. Return to apply. And maybe just select a couple of bars again this time. And copy them from this layer this time. Control C, Control V. This is a new layer in. Add my drop shadow. Turn off my top layer. Put on those other bars. And then decide where I want this order-wise. And I can move it around backwards and forwards as I want to. If I want to move it, just select the Move tool. And then I can reposition it wherever I want to within the frame as well. Okay, I think it needs, looking at the image on the right, so looking at the artist's work, I think what it needs is more thin lines in that middle section to kind of really chop that up. And then maybe we'll put a few really thin lines again in towards the top or cutting across it diagonally. Okay, so I'm going to now click back, turn off these layers again. I'm going to use the first template we made earlier, Control T. I'm just going to rotate that a little bit, drag it out a little bit wider. I'm going to squash it to make the bars a bit narrower, I think, in this case. Okay, and select a few little bars. Zoom in to make it easier to select the bits I want. Control C to copy, click on my image I want to copy from. So I'm going to go to the background one this time. Control C, Control D to paste. Move it above the portrait. Turn off my template. Add my drop shadow. Turn on my other layers. Zoom out a little bit and then decide where I want to put that. So I might move that down a little bit. I don't think I want to go too far out of position. Control T, maybe rotate it a little bit. Maybe drag it out a little bit thinner from those edges. press return to apply. And then again, we can just experiment with that layer order. Hopefully you've got the idea now. I'm going to quickly just add a few more layers in so you can see it start to develop. Okay, so back to our template, turn off these layers again so we can see what we're doing. And then Control T, I'm going to rotate it that way this time a little bit. Make it a little bit thinner still. Zoom in a touch. Use my magic wand tool and just pick a couple of bits this time. Scroll down to my background one, Control C, Control V, paste that in really quick, move it up, and my drop shadow. Go back to the top, turn off that layer. Reinstate my overlays, see if I want to move it anywhere. Change the order of it. Okay, then I'm going to come back down and I'm going to select a couple more bits. Turn off those overlays again. Turn on my template. Zoom out again. Control T to free transform. And just go a little bit straighter. Return. Zoom in. Control and plus. Magic wand from the left hand palette. Hold down Shift. Select from this image this time, Control C. So click on that layer, Control V, paste a new one in, add our drop shadow. Turn off our top layer. Use a move tool, shift it a little bit. Maybe rotate a bit, make it a little bit wider so it goes to the edge. Press return to apply, turn on our other layers and see how it looks and if we need to reposition it. And it's as simple as that. Once you've done it a few times, you'll get quicker and quicker at it and you can build it up, add as many layers as you want to. Might try that one up here. Maybe even right at the top. That's starting to get there now. It's got a little bit more complexity to it. It perhaps now needs a few long sort of diagonal ones cutting through here, maybe. We'll just have one more layer for now on screen, and then you can carry on with your own. So I'm just going to click off all those layers, click back on the one and go over the top, Control T, zoom out a little bit, and make it much narrower. Rotate it. Return to apply it. Control plus to zoom in, and we'll just select a few little bits from here. Okay, copy those from this layer. So select that layer, Control C, Control V, drop shadow. I'm going to move it up in the layer order. I'm going to go back to this layer now and rotate it a little bit more. Click on my top layer, Control T, zoom out a little bit so I can see it. Rotate it a touch. Return to apply it. Control plus to zoom in. Select just a couple of bits this time. Maybe go from a background. So click on that background layer, Control C, Control V to paste it in. Add a drop shadow. Move it up in the layer ordering. And turn off my template at the top and then just put on all my layers, see how that looks now. I've got a bit of a decision to make, which is which image you use as a background. Do you use a portrait side on, or turn it off and use a head on portrait? I think possibly the head on portrait works better. Not sure which one I prefer. Obviously, I could keep adding more and more layers on it, building into it. You could always as well, on each individual layer, if you decided you don't like a particular part. So firstly, I'm going to find the layer I want. So say this layer, turn them on and off until you recognize a bit you don't like the look of disappearing. You might be able to recognize it from, yeah, there we go. So say if I decide I don't like that really wide bit through the middle here, I can just click on that layer, use the polygon lasso tool, and I can just click around the bit I don't like. And Control X or Edit Cut and remove that from the composition. Okay, well done guys if you got that far. Keep building up your layers, adding onto it as much as you want to. And then when you've finished, either do another edit like this so that you feel really well practiced in it, or pick another image and move on to the next more complicated version of this. So the more complicated layer one. Well done guys, good job so far.